Sakura's dead? She's really dead?
I heard Hina talking, but my eyes stared steadily forward. I could only look on at Sakura's dead body. We didn't make it in time. It's happened again. Muttering to herself, Kyoko began to gently inspect Sakura's body. I wondered, was she confirming that Sakura really was dead? Checking for a pulse? Or a reaction? I have to go get them. I have to go get the others. On shaky legs, Hina left the rec room. And Why? Why did this have to happen? That's all I could say. I repeated it over and over again. I need to examine Sakura's body. I just stood there motionless behind her while she checked Sakura's corpse. Time passed. While I stood there, unable to do a thing, time just passed. And after I don't know how long, I got everyone. Whoa, ogre?
Yes.
Oh, so she's dead, huh?
I see.
Sakura's been killed. I see. As soon as they arrived, Kyoko began.
Just a second.
You heard the announcement just now, right? So you know what this means. Sakura was murdered, and by someone in this very room. Is that what you were going to say?
Huh?
No. Whoever killed her, it's not just someone in this room.
It's your fault.
It was one of you! Hiro, Byakuya, Toko, one of you killed Sakura. What?
What?
You're accusing us before we've even begun the investigation. I don't need to investigate anything. Because you hated her. You hated the sight of her. One of you did it. I know it. You know it? Jeez, I didn't know your power level would increase by that much just by getting mad.
What the heck?
What are you doing here?
Come on.
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to hand out my little murder flyer. That's right. It's the next Monokuma file. And don't get so mad, Miss Asahina, or you're gonna ruin that lewd little face of yours. Now then, with that, Hold on. There's something I want to ask you. Huh? It was you, wasn't it? You killed Sakura.
Say what?
Huh? Sakura wanted to challenge the mastermind to a duel. Maybe you and her fought again, and then...
In other words,
Then I killed her? Sorry, not quite. Actually, not even close. That whole thing is totally irrelevant now. Sakura came to a most regrettable end without even getting the chance to finish things with me. Which, thank God for that. It saved me the trouble of having to go through with our little fight. Because even for someone like me, it would have been no mean feat to take down a behemoth like that.
hey,
I gotta tell you, I was actually pretty worried. I mean, she'd violated a rule by attacking me in the first place, but I wasn't able to punish her. So I don't know who it was, but whoever the blackened is this time, I owe you one.
what is this?
You owe them one? Oopsie! Before you get all pissy-potty at me, you better figure out who did it first.
Shing.
'Cause I mean, your lives are all on the line, right?
What is this?
What the hell? He owes them one? I hate him. I hate this whole thing. Well, I, for one, am glad it was Sakura. She was working for the mastermind after all. How can you say that now? Sorry, I don't have time for your squabbling. The next game has already begun. If you want to be angry at someone, be angry at whoever killed Sakura.
Anyway,
Right now, our top priority needs to be uncovering Sakura's killer. If we can't do that, we're all dead. Then let's decide who will stand guard this time. I'll do it. Hina. I'm okay. Just let me handle it. Besides, I want to be here with Sakura.
That's fine.
Okay then, Hina is guard number 1, but we need one more. Kyoko, that's you.
What?
Me. You're always a thorn in my side. This time, just stand by and watch quietly. Consider that an order. An order?
That's fine.
Fine, I'll stay behind. Then it's settled. Let's begin, shall we? Hold on! Before that, there's something I want to say.
What?
Which is... Hiro, Byakuya, Toko. None of you are allowed to step foot in the crime scene.
Huh?
What?
It's your fault.
One of you killed Sakura. I won't let someone like that come anywhere near her.
Stop talking.
Don't be stupid. Our lives are in just as much danger as yours. We have every right to investigate. I don't care what you say. I'm not letting the one who killed Sakura anywhere near her. Even if it means I have to use force. You're not getting in here. Well, it appears further discussion would be a waste of time. How about a compromise?
It's all clear now.
I won't ask you to let all of us in. Just let me. What? You don't really care, do you? You're both useless anyway.
Yep.
Nope, don't really care. I'd rather spend time coming up with another splendid fantasy involving Master anyway. And you, Hiro? Do you really object? If you're gonna go that far, what can I do? I mean, I don't have anything to hide, so why should I care?
It's all clear.
Then it's decided. Nothing's decided!
Calm down.
I know how you feel, Hina, but you should really agree to his request. But
Hey,
we have to find out who killed Sakura,
correct.
for those of us still alive, and to honor Sakura's memory. Fine, I guess that's okay. But no matter what, Byakuya, you absolutely aren't allowed to touch her. Naturally, who would want to touch a filthy dead body?
Listen.
That's enough fighting. We need to focus on the investigation from here on out. Everyone, keep this in mind. If we can't uncover Sakura's killer,
Listen to me.
all of us face execution. Finding out who killed Sakura. It's not a matter of hoping we can do it. If we want to survive, we have to do it. It's a kind of hopeless hope. We have no choice but to just do it. I'd better check the Monokuma file before anything else. The victim was Sakura Ogami. The time of death is estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. However, it seems that at some point, the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. Monokuma file number 4.
Hey,
I think the case this time might be a challenge. Why's that?
so...
The only way into the rec room is the door that we just came through. And that door had been jammed shut with the chair from the rec room. Which means the killer would have had to escape somehow after barring the door. So if the door was blocked from the inside and there was no way in or out till we broke the window, there's like zero escape, right?
In other words,
this is a classic locked room murder. Locked room murder? I guess you might see this kind of thing a lot in mystery movies or books or whatever. But could it really happen in real life? And right before our very eyes like this?
hey,
Are you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder entails? Sure, if you don't mind.
that's fine.
When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. The first type is where the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. This simply means that the killer commits his crime, then through some special method seals the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving the locking of the room. Basic approaches include using a string or a simple mechanism. There are a number of variations. So for that, all we'd have to do is check the door to see if that's what it was, right?
Correct.
The second type is when the locked room already exists before the crime is committed. Oh?
In other words,
Basically, the killer uses a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch and it fires a handgun. You shoot an arrow through a gap in the door. Something like that.
however,
But in this case, that doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns or arrows in the school, and the door doesn't have any gap that would allow it. Yeah, I think we can probably cross that one off the list.
it's true.
The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it's opened up. What do you mean by that?
In other words,
They stay hidden, and when the door is opened, they use the confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else, and that's that. That sounds like it could have been possible. Maybe.
it's true.
And the fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all. Not a locked room?
In other words,
By that I mean, there actually is an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. You see this a lot in novels and things, but in reality it's generally not possible. Then you think we can cross that one off too?
indeed.
I believe so, yes. So when it comes to the locked room mysteries, those are the basics. So there are 4 possibilities. Then, Kyoko, which of those 4 choices seems the most likely in this case?
It's true.
That's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. But right now, I can't really say. I see. The way the killer set up the locked room. Until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura, if nothing else. Right, investigation time. Where do we start? The body, I guess? Sakura drew her last breath, sitting slumped forward in this chair. There's obvious evidence of a blow to the head that Sakura suffered. Normally I wouldn't have any problem believing that that's what killed her. But according to the Monokuma file, she also had vomited blood. And I can see a trace of blood on her lips for sure. So what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said that she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Status of Sakura's body. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood? Not a chance. Byakuya,
That's fine.
however, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location. Interesting?
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting. Don't you agree? No, I don't think I'd call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died. What's this? This looks like some kind of wrapper. Huh? That's... Do you recognize it, Hina? Well, yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help calm her down a little. So you gave that candy to Sakura? I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like them. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them. You really like them that much? But I wanted Sakura to get the chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now, they've lost all their flavor. You know. Polka dot candy wrapper. There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair that Sakura is sitting on. The glass is all red, and these are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? So this must have originally been a bottle. Glass shards on the floor. Huh? There's something else on the ground near the glass. It's a figure. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. Figure on the floor. There's some blood over there. There's a blood stain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? Magazine shelf bloodstain. Huh? The locker's open, and there on the inside, it's a handprint?
Why?
What's a handprint doing here? It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and it left a handprint in all the dust.
It's true.
And it looks quite fresh too. I'd say someone was hiding here in the locker and they left behind a little something extra. So then, maybe the killer hid in here until the locked room was opened, don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group.
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Huh? Why not?
Hey,
Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Oh yeah, and the locker was already open at that point.
Indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. Yeah, so then, what does this handprint mean? Locker handprint. There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. And inside each bottle, there's some kind of Monokuma figure. What I'm wondering is, how'd they get those figures inside the bottles?
So...
It's no different from your standard ship in a bottle. Huh? You know, where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside? You've never seen that? Oh, yeah, maybe I have.
In other words...
So this is the Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. Monokuma bottle. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things. Little by little. The Monokuma bottle's sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground. The red shards of glass, which probably started out as a bottle. Which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with a Monokuma bottle, right? The shards of glass and the Monokuma figure are evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. That same shelf full of magazines. There's all different kinds of magazines here. I don't really know what else is a clue.
What the heck?
We already know who did it. Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all 3 of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here in the rec room. What? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me. She said she'd left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon? The Monokuma file said she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth. I heard it right from Sakura herself. And I tried to stop her. But she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry and that she wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I'd stopped her, by force even, this never would have happened. Hina, it's impossible not to have regrets. I know. Ali's account. But the fact that she had asked those 3 to meet with her, and she asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying, it might be good to confirm what I had just heard with the 3 of them directly.
However...
But for Sakura to have been killed... Yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight.
It's true.
And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise, right?
Certainly.
Certainly. They would have needed to, if they had expected to stand any chance against her.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. Then it's true? I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But what fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? So you didn't go and see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Byakuya says he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come on.
If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Okay, thanks. Byakuya's account. There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance to the room.
So...
It looks like a protein drink, and it's empty.
Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loved her protein. And she mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments.
Wrong.
I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I know. But still, this protein can. It's got a label on it that says Chem A2. That reminds me. Sakura mentioned how the Chem lab had all kinds of health stuff. So she must have gotten this from the Chem lab.
Just a second.
But that's strange. Huh? What is?
Hey,
You see what's scattered around the can? Shards of light blue glass. They must be parts of the window that I broke to get inside.
correct.
But they aren't just scattered around the can. They're also underneath it. Why does that matter?
So,
I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take note of it. I feel like it'll become an important clue later on. An important clue? I'm not sure I see how. Empty protein drink. This door is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock and there's no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window, which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. The chair was shoved up against the doorknob, so we couldn't get the door open. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the chair. In other words, there's no reason to think that the chair had anything special done to it. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening. And there was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked door from the inside, not from the outside. Rec room door.
listen.
Well, Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? Yeah, I think so, for the most part.
So then,
Then you should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave,
listen to me.
which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided? She's got a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right, I do have to go and talk to the others. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they have to say. Let's go find Toko. Those other 2 probably went back to their rooms. And Hero. Toko's room is nearby. There she is. I pressed on the doorbell. And after a few seconds,
Oh, who's there?
oh, the most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
Well, what do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hall.
What do you want?
You said you wanted to talk to me about something? I wanted to talk about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you. I don't know what you're talking about. Byakuya already told me that she had asked to meet with him. What? She wanted to meet with Master too? I just said two, didn't I? I guess now it's totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So, can you tell me about it? I admit, I did get the note. But I didn't go see her. I was scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go and see her, but can I really believe her? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. Is that good enough? Then I'm going back to my room. With that, Toko quickly retreated into her room. Toko's account. pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds,
You know?
"What's up, Makoto? Did you need something?" "Yeah, actually, I wanted to check something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you." "Oh, how'd you know about that?"
Could it be?
"What? Did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you?" "But I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Ogre told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too." "What? When did Sakura tell you that?" "Oh, well, when she asked me to meet with her, of course." "But didn't she write you a note?" "Yeah, a note.
How about that?
She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others, like, in passing." I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. "So then you went and met with Sakura?" "No way! I totally didn't. Why would I ever do that?" "Yeah, definitely suspicious.
Actually,
The last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt and I took her to the nurse's office.
don't look
I
at
haven't
me.
seen her since then." "While I'm here, could you show me the note that she gave you?" Do I still have it? Let's see." Hiro was feeling around in his pockets.
Hey,
"Ha,
come on.
sorry. Looks like I don't have it anymore." With a big goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. But when he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pocket. Huh?
What?
Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up again and shoved it back into his pocket.
Hey,
Hey.
come on.
"Sorry, just a bit of trash I forgot to throw out." "Trash?"
What?
"Anyway, I can't deny that Ogre asked to meet with me, but I never went. So, well, if you'll excuse me." Before waiting for a reply, Hiro quickly slipped back into his room. Hiro said that was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. Pocket trash. Okay, so I've heard from Toko and Hiro. What next? I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe I should find out more about that protein can that we found on the floor of the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. So where should I start? Probably with the chem lab, I would say. We've literally just been to the crime room, so... the chem lab is on the 3rd floor, is that right? No, it's the physics lab. Chem lab's 4th floor. It is over here. I keep forgetting there is handy dandy exclamation marks to tell me where to go. Do 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 do. Oh. Makoto, did you have your eye on the chem lab too? Just make sure you don't get in my way. Yeah, I got it. I think what you meant to say was, "Yes, sir, I understand." Yeah, okay. This isn't my first time seeing this shelf, but I just can't get over how big it is. I should probably take a closer look at it. Looks like 3 shelves have been connected together to make one giant shelf. But more important right now, what's that powder that's been spilled in front of the shelf? I have to be careful not to step in it. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor. I'd better not leave a footprint. There's a broken bottle in front of the shelf. Is this where all the powder came from? It looks like the bottle had a label on it. Chem C4. Would you like to hear something interesting? I was on the 4th floor this morning, checking things out, and at that point, this room wasn't like this. Then this powder must have been spilled.
So in other words,
That's right. It could only have been around the time of the incident. If that really is when it happened, it must be related to the case somehow. Source of the powder. These are footprints? And they're only in front of the left shelf. How do these footprints relate to the scene as a whole? We may need to sketch out the floor plan. By we, do you mean me? How kind of you to offer. With an insufferable smirk, he handed me a piece of paper and a pen.
what?
Well, let's go, chop chop. Okay. So I got to work, and before long, I'd drawn up a sketch of the room. So how's this? Not bad. For you, I mean. For me?
I see.
So when you look at it like this... Interesting. It would appear that whoever left these footprints only had business at the leftmost shelf. They came in, went straight to that shelf, did whatever they had to, and then left. That's what the footprints tell me.
I see.
These footprints must be...
It's certainly
Makoto,
possible.
are they yours? No!
What?
Okay then, let me see your shoes and I'll confirm their size for myself. I couldn't think of a reason not to, so I quietly did what Byakuya said. I see. Your feet do appear to be too big. Unfortunately, I must admit that these are not your footprints. Unfortunately? But with how clear these prints are, it should be quite easy to determine who they do belong to. Then these prints are really a valuable... Then these prints are a really valuable clue. I should probably take a good hard look at that powder. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor in front of the shelf. There's also the remains of a broken bottle. It looks like the bottle was labelled Chem C4. Also, it looks like someone left some footprints in the powder. Based on the positioning of the prints, whoever did it went to the left side of the shelf. According to Byakuya, the powder would have had to have been spilled right around the time of the incident. That's all I can tell for now. Footprints in the powder. Oh, sorry, I just did that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Right, let's have a look at A. Let's see, what's on this shelf? There are all kinds of dietary supplements and different medicines. The protein drink we found in the rec room probably came from this shelf. All the containers on this shelf are labelled with the letter A and a number. So I guess I consider this part of the shelving unit section A. Huh? But wait! There's one bottle here that's labelled Cam C9. Could someone have put it here on accident? So on this shelf is... It looks like a bunch of chemicals. I have no idea what they are. They're reagents. Put simply, they're used in experiments to bring about a chemical reaction. How have you lived in such ignorance for so long? It must truly be bliss. Isn't that kind of harsh?
What?
What, do you think from studying science and mathematics has no practical application in the real world?
That's fine.
The words of a lifelong loser, which I suppose suits you well. I didn't even say that. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Right now I need to focus on the shelf. All the containers on this shelf are labelled with the letter B and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section B. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. In which case, I don't think I have to worry too much about this shelf. On this shelf is... One look and I can tell it's nothing but dangerous chemicals. These look like poisons and other powerful chemicals. All the containers on this shelf are labelled with the letter C and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section C. I should try and find out more about this shelving unit. It looks like it's split into 3 sections. Section A has dietary supplements, Section B has reagents, and Section 3 has lethal chemicals. Sakura must have gotten the protein powder from Section A. But what concerns me is that in Section A, there was a bottle with a label from Section C. What was a bottle of poison from Section C doing in Section A? There's definitely something going on here. Chem lab shelf. I've already taken a good look at the chem lab. Maybe I should take another look around the rec room. Alright. Where was the rec room again? There it is. Can I not warp there? Oh, maybe because I'm inside a room. There we go. Now we can probably warp there. Nice. Rec room. Get wrecked.
Hey,
So, Makoto, how's your investigation going? I told Kyoko what Toko and Hiro had told me.
I see.
So along with Byakuya, they're both claiming that they didn't go see her. But it's all too convenient. Someone must be lying. Someone's lying.
Anyway,
Well, I made some progress of my own. Sakura's body, the shelf of magazines, and the Monokuma bottles. These 3 things have revealed new clues. You'd do well to look over them one more time. Okay. According to Kyoko, there's still something to be discovered from Sakura's body.
Just a second.
Just staring off into space isn't going to help you figure anything out. Well, yeah, I know, but
Hey.
don't you think you might need to actually examine the body?
Whew.
There's no getting around it. Unlike me, Kyoko didn't recoil at the thought of touching a dead body. She was completely unemotional. It's the kind of thing I've grown perversely used to. Although there are still some times... I can't believe how calm you are. No matter how many times I see a dead body, I can't get used to it.
It's true.
That's totally normal. Then, how can you...
So...
I imagine it's because I've had plenty of opportunities to touch dead bodies in the past. What? Sorry, never mind.
Hey.
More importantly, look here. Her shoes?
Correct.
You see that yellow powder in her instep? Yeah, it really stands out.
I see.
That powder is clue number 1. Yellow powder.
Hey.
Next is the wound to her head. Look carefully.
It's true.
Actually, even telling you that. It's incredibly difficult to spot, so let me just explain.
It would seem...
It would appear that she didn't suffer a single blow, but instead received 2 blows to the head. 2 blows?
Indeed.
Interesting, wouldn't you say? And there's one more interesting thing.
Correct.
Both of her hands were spotless. There's absolutely no trace of blood on either one.
It's true.
So, that's what I learned from examining her body in detail. Kyoko's examination summary. I can't believe she was able to learn all that just by looking at her body. I don't think anyone but Kyoko could have pulled that off. Kyoko said the magazine shelf was hiding a clue of some kind. Clue. Huh? This magazine is upside down. Did someone put it back that way on accident?
Hey.
If something catches your eye, it's important for you to explore that in detail, don't you think? Yeah, you're right. I picked up the inverted magazine and flipped through it. This is... On one of the pages near the center of the magazine, a word had been written in blood. Bold, bloody letters. And it said, Toko. Could this be a dying message?
Correct.
Then it would appear you've found it. Kyoko, is this...
So...
It is indeed a dying message. Someone used their finger to write it. A dying message?
However...
But just to be clear, I'm not the one who put it back upside down. It was already like that when I found it a little while ago. I made sure to put it back exactly as I found it, for the benefit of others who might come looking. Hey, is that... That says... Toko, right? Yeah, it looks like it. Then she's the killer, right? Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet. It's settled. She's the killer for sure. That's conclusive evidence, right? We can use it to corner the killer. I can see why you would think that, but it just seems too easy. If anything, it makes me that much more... It makes me that much more suspicious. Me? Oh, I feel suspicion. I got you. Magazine dying message. And the last thing was the bottles. I think Kyoko said she'd found a new clue involving the Monokuma bottles. Something new. Something new.
Hey.
So, did you figure it out? There's a hidden correlation between all the bottles. Pay careful attention and you're sure to find it. A correlation. Hey, Kyoko, can't you just tell me what it is?
So...
I don't mean guiding you towards clues, but giving you my conclusion isn't a good idea. Each person needs to come to their own conclusions so that everyone can have confidence in the outcome. And it's not just because you don't trust me, right? No answer? I do trust you, to a degree. Otherwise, I wouldn't have told you anything to begin with. Only to a degree. Monokuma bottle.
Hey.
Actually, there's one more thing about the Monokuma bottles that's bothering me. I'd like to do an experiment to confirm it. You don't mind helping me, right? An experiment?
Anyway,
Can you gather up all the pieces of the broken Monokuma bottle? Try to get the smaller pieces too. Huh? Are you sure it's okay to mess with the crime scene like that?
that doesn't matter.
I've already done a thorough investigation, so it's fine. And that obnoxious Byakuya's not here, so...
So then,
Anyway, I need to get something from the chem lab. While I'm gone, try to gather up all the glass. With that, Kyoko left the room. I really don't know what this is about, but... What choice do I have? I'd better just do it. I took the broom and dustpan and got to work collecting all the broken bottle pieces. And just as I finished up... Sorry to keep you waiting.
so then,
Is everything ready? Then let's get to work. So what kind of experiment are we doing?
in other words,
I got a scale from the chem lab. We're going to use it to compare weights. Compare the weights of what? The pieces of glass you collected and one of the Monokuma bottles that's still intact. Why do you want to do that? That's the point of the experiment. It'll make sense when we're done.
listen.
First, let's compare the weight of 2 of the normal Monokuma bottles. It's balanced,
In other words,
which means each Monokuma bottle weighs about the same. Which makes sense. The Monokuma figures inside are basically the same, and nothing else could really affect the weight.
so then,
Now, here comes the important part. Put all the pieces you picked up on one side of the scale. Now, what might we expect to see? Well, a normal assumption would be either they'll balance out or the pieces I collected would be lighter. I did my best to get them all, but there's a chance I could have missed some here and there.
so then,
Okay, then let's give it a try. Huh? The broken pieces are heavier? How is that possible?
I knew it.
Just as I thought. What?
In other words,
The results of our experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles. Put it all together,
hey,
and I believe you will arrive at one very persuasive conclusion. So, what do you think? It's all on you. Monokuma bottle experiment.
Whoops! You caught me sleeping. Your investigation was just so boring I couldn't stay awake. Should I do it? Is it okay? Can I? Okay, then let's begin the class trial. You know where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
It's already time? But the mystery of the locked room is still only half solved. At this point, whatever happens will have to happen at the class trial. No, not whatever happens. I have to make something happen. Oh boy, are we ready for this? I don't know if we are.